So I'm just doing a podcast now because I wanted to share just some indecision. Part of me wondering whether it's ADHD that causes these things or not. I had a big project that I was going to do with a business. It was worth around 80 grand or so over a period of like 3 to 4 months. And it was going to be able to cash flow, I suppose it was going to cash flow the development of my sales courses and sales consulting business with the solar, because it was a big project for a solar business to consult for them, to build them a team, to basically create a whole working from home sales team in solar business in Australia. And because I've done that before, and it was pretty low impact, pretty low time cost to run, and it generated it was around $10,000 a week in profit or so, and it only took about 4 hours a week of me as an owner's part. And so I was going to build a business for these guys, but the first time I did the business was with my friend Shane, my friend and business partner. Since February, he's taken over the business, and now I'm doing solar sales consulting for solar businesses. That's what I want to be doing. And this was one of my first projects. I reached out to a few people, and this is one of the people that was pretty close to going ahead with the project. Now, since they said no on Friday, it's just 3 days ago, I've just been over the weekend just contemplating, that was my source of revenue, and I had been planning on that for the last 2 months, and it was my own fucking fault for not having a contract signed up and a payment, paid down. So I really shouldn't have reserved that time for them without that. But I think part of me was also okay with it falling through. But now here I am. So I'm disappointed, of course, but there's more doors open now because it's not. However, some of the doors I'm questioning whether I want to walk down or not. So I'm just thinking through the process out loud here. I've been trying to type it out, and I've been trying to thought process it out and brainstorm and even bounce off friends and even with Shane, my old business partner, and ChatGPT. And actually I was pretty impressed with the thought process that ChatGPT encouraged me to go down. It was quite good. I gave it a bit of information about me and what I'm interested in, what I've done, and I just asked it for the pros and cons of kind of each direction. And the 3 directions that I'm thinking of are, 1, create a solar sales team myself, which would involve hiring admin salespeople, basically creating my own solar business again. But I'd do a face-to-face solar sales team, and I probably wouldn't do the 3 quotes leads because I prefer the customers from exclusive lead sources, much more so. They have lower expectations, and you can put larger margins in it. And you can also, because they have lower expectations, you can over-deliver on your product and give them a really awesome service, which is just great. That's a good feeling. So I could do that, and I've got 2 lead sources which can generate appointments. So we don't even have to call leads or anything. There's no process there. We just get these guys to book appointments. They're not cheap, but I mean, relative to the time costs of booking your own appointments, it probably works out pretty well. So they book appointments, and we just go and attend face-to-face. And we can put the sales margins typical of the face-to-face that we're doing before was anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000 per sale, and probably a little bit more now that in Western Australia we can sell larger systems for 3-phase customers, so we can probably do a little bit larger margins, or we can do battery systems and such like that. That is one option, or I can go into commercial solar. I'm sort of kind of leaning out of that option, even just saying it now. If I was going to do the solar sales path, it'd be residential, and then I'd probably branch into commercial solar, just because commercial solar is an unknown. The main reason that I'd want to be doing the solar sales residential team is because I fucking guarantee it works. I can guarantee it works. I know it does. I've done it before many times. It's pretty much the way that I made money for the first 8 years of doing sales, is just essentially it's a cold calling, but they're doing the cold calling for me, and then just sales and closing. So that's easy and it's guaranteed. It's solid money. I could train a few people and kind of have that just ticking along, and that would provide an ongoing cash flow for me to be able to consult, to work on the consulting business, and also to test things in my own business before I launched them out to other businesses. So for example, if I wanted to try a lead generation tactic, or if I wanted to alter a sales process or alter some sort of pre-framing emails, I could do that within my own business first, test it, see how it works, and then roll it out to people. But the thing is, I could also do that with other businesses as well, as long as I was making them aware that, hey, we're testing this out. I don't know how it's going to go, sort of thing. Can test out lead sources and stuff with my own business as well, and de-risk those things for other businesses, and then transition into maybe commercial, because that's interesting and that's another thing that I could learn and then teach, and it provides a platform for that. But there's a time cost, and what my thoughts are is that time cost going to take away from my ability to work on the sales consulting? Ultimately, the end path that I want to get back onto is the sales consulting and generating courses, because there's more leverage in that, and I that's just what I'm excited about. I think I can do really well in that. I think I like the idea of working with different business owners and helping them, improve their profits and work less and try new things and just improve. Like, kind of the whole reason we start business is to have fun and make money and have more time with friends and family, and have a business where the people working in the business are earning good and the customers are getting a good experience. And I want to be part of making that true for the people who that's not true for anymore. So that really excites me. But what makes me nervous is is if I start on that. Okay, let's say I go into that now straight away. We skipped a step of doing the solo sales team, and I go straight into that right now. There is an unknown of how soon I'm going to be able to bring my next client in and charge them a consulting fee, and then work with them on sales training and such. I mean, maybe I'm just being a pussy and delaying that because I'm nervous. The two things I'm concerned about is that, essentially, like, how long is it going to be until I get money from it? It's not so much like, obviously you need to make money, and that's a measurement of the success of it, but that's not the motivating factor. I actually want to do it because of the reason I stated earlier, and because it's a lot of fun and I'm energized by it. But it's either that, and then the other concern I have is that if I do this solar sales team, the residential solar sales team, that I burn myself out by doing that, by training and managing, and then. So there's a third. The third option was to just do solar sales, but it's not the commission structure that I'd be able to negotiate would be very good by most people's standards, but by mine, and by knowing that I could just do a little bit more effort and manage a couple of people, I could make a lot more money in having my own brand. If I'm going to go down that path, the other thing is I don't want to have it be something that I go work hard, burn myself out, but make a bunch of money, then go spend the money on testing and learning. And if that doesn't work, then go back to sales. I don't want to have to jump back and forth between things. So I'm really sort of struggling to think this out. The two paths really I see are, like I said, solar sales, residential team, appointments being set by another company. I just have to sales train people, pay them a wage, get them going and attending appointments, make sure they've got a full schedule, and then make sure that the approvals and installations are being handled. There's obviously more to it like that, organising stock for suppliers and building a website and setting up the CRMs. The thing is, I was literally about to go and do all of that with this other company, and I was super excited for it. And the first thing that they said, hey, it's just too risky for us, we don't want to do it, because they had to lay out 80 grand because I wanted to do it in a really short time frame. I could probably do it myself without the 80 grand, but it would take, instead of 3 to 4 months, it'll probably take 6 to 8 months. Maybe less because the margins will be higher. So I can just roll the margins right back into the business and expand the team. But I was like, yeah, I'm going to do all of that specifically for them, and I was going to document that and then create the course and all the materials while I was doing that. And so then I can document that process and create the course, which essentially I'd just be doing that for myself. And that's kind of why I'm like, well, why don't I just do it for myself then? If I was going to do it for someone else and get paid, okay, I get paid 80 grand for 3 to 4 months work, but I could get paid a couple $100 grand for 6 to 8 months work, That's a fair point. It's just, am I going to be able to do the time? Am I going to be able to put that time in? And the other thing is, I was going to have a general manager start from the very beginning of the project. For this, I'm not going to be able to hire a general manager until, this is why it's going to take a long project to have the cash flow to pay for a general manager to manage the sales business. Depending on the scale, but probably until like month 6. And so instead of it being a 3 to 4 month project, it's going to be like a 6 to 8 month project. And I suppose I'm not 100% confident, which is probably my answer. I suppose I'm not 100% confident that I can last 6 months as that operator. But then, is that a challenge for myself to try and do it in a faster time frame? To try and build it a lot faster, get more money, get more deposits from customers, hire that general manager person a lot sooner, and then hire more salespeople. Hire the general manager person, train them in sales, and then train them in the whole of business while I'm going. So maybe skip that process. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to think this through a lens that Tim Ferriss has given me. If someone put a gun to my head and told me that I had to do whatever I thought I was going to do in 6 months, in 6 weeks, for example, what steps would I take to make that happen? And yeah, that would be one of the first steps. I'd probably get a salesperson on, and I'd probably get myself on and an admin person. Start kicking out sales, and the moment I had enough cash flow from the sales, probably the next person that I hire would be the general manager. And they can do the operations and stuff. So yeah, that's an idea. That's cool. The other thing is, why not just go straight into the sales consulting? Because I do know how to set up a sales team. I've done that heaps of times. I know how to coach a sales team, and I know how to do a sales script, and I know how to build a CRM to improve the efficiency of salespeople and reduce the input and improve the output from salespeople, so they work less but work more effectively, and they've got some automations to help them work more effectively, and they make more money in their sales because their sales are more profitable. And that could be for diversifying lead sources and generating, maybe a hybrid model between face-to-face and phone-based. And there's a lot of different ways to do that, which I know how to do. I suppose the only thing holding me back there is it could take me a little while to start actually making enough money to keep the roof over my head, sort of thing. Because while I'm starting, I'm probably charging less because maybe my conviction and my confidence on being able to do it for people. Also, I don't know how much impact and how to identify how much impact that I can make on a business. Right now, I know I can get a salesperson doing, around 10 grand worth of sales. I'm not really sure what other salespeople are doing and what offer I can bring to the market based on what other salespeople are doing. So it would require me to look into that, to research, what companies are doing and maybe even customize offers for them. So to have consultations and then ask what their sales people are doing, what margins they're charging, and even start looking at financial information to be able to make them some sort of offer. And then as I go, I will learn what businesses are doing what, and I can start structuring offers for the business owners that I want to work with. It's a learning curve, and I was expecting it to take 6 to 12 months. With this project that I had, where I was getting paid to build a company, it was going to teach me a lot of the shit. I was also going to be able to document it, and it was also going to provide me some cash flow. Because once I finished the project, I was also going to get a commission on 250 sales, So there was that. I have got enough money right